Hello students, welcome to the next session in NFS. So this NFS is about Sun NFS and VFS is nothing but one of the component which we are going to utilize in NFS, that is a virtual file system, and the last one is the Andrew file system AFS. So already in the previous sessions we have seen what is a DFS, first of all distributed file system. Before that what is file system, then DFS, then NFS, network file system. Network file system extension is Sun NFS. So that is what we say, Sun NFS is an extension of NFS. So where we are going to deal with the NFS concepts itself. But the only difference is we are going to follow up with the approaches remotely at that moment itself. Okay, so whereas Andrew FS is next best version over there. And for that also we have small limitations, so that we are moving for CODA over there. So that will be our next session, right? Now here the file system is developed by Sun Microsystem. Thus the name of this network file system is given as Sun NFS, right? And here the file system will be dependent on the remote clients to access your data anywhere from the network. Okay, so this is a client server approaches. Obviously we have seen a number of slides prior to this session also, and NFS uses RPC as a client stub and also the server stub. When we are communicating as a NFS client, we reciprocate with we enable RPC client stub. When we are with the NFS server, it will be with the RPC server stub, right? Now this is general NFS model in the Sun Microsystems developed one. So where the file system will be having local file system will be available in the clients, and the remote file system will be available in the NFS server, and in between we will be having the network. So whenever we need a file system, then we can, as a concept, mounting and unmounting, we can detach or attach whenever we require. So this is a small model. The architecture we have seen in the client server architecture, the same architecture but in the different view, that's it. So the client will be enabled with the operating system interface, and from there VFS interface enters. The virtual file system will be enabled, where our object linking mapping will be done with the logical with the physical over there. So next we will be having a number of different types of systems, and NFS will be activated with the RPC client stub at the client side, and here the routines of server will be enabled as a server RPC server stub over there, right? And this is a basic introduction of Sun network file systems, where we have a distributed file system with a which is developed by the Sun Microsystems over there. Thus the name is given as Sun. As already we have seen, these are working with the client server infrastructure using RPC. So if you can see here, the virtual file system is nothing but the file system which is enabled with the Unix kernel, where our data will be available locally, and whenever we require we go with the remote access from NFS client to the NFS server. Then virtual file system, this is a distinguish between your locals and the remote files over there, and this is we can see the virtual files. We can manage the virtual files with few identifiers. These identifiers in the network file systems are called as a handles. Okay, so the file handles will be like your file system identifiers, like name, inode number. Inode number is a unique identity number given by the kernel over there to every file created in the network, every file created in your file system. Okay, so file system identifier is a unique number. Inode number is nothing but your file system which is located, and this is one of the attribute inode is given as a where your file located, that identity can be given, right? And this inode number deviations can be given with the linking procedures also. You can go with the symbolic link or else the hard link also, when we are having a copy of your existing file over there. Next, NFS client integration. See, client integration will be done if a file is available remotely, then we have to go with the NFS client send request to the server. That is what is a client integration with the server. Next, interface is nothing but our server, NFS server, which is stateless. See, stateless is nothing but it can take only the request given by the client, but it will not even open whatever the file you have asked by the client. So it will just say where your file is located as a pathwise, so that the client will go to that particular address and it will get its data, right, as we have seen. But in the stateful machines, servers will be readily available with the whatever the client asked. It will open that file and it will be ready available to the client to give the data. That is called as stateful and stateless. So these are a few operations, I mean to say server operations, which are performed at the end of the server side. So lookup, creating the directory, or else giving few attributes to the directories. We can remove the directory, get attributes of one particular directory. You can set the attributes to a particular size of a file. I mean, we can resize the file, truncate the file, mount, unmount kind of things. You can have the read operations, write, rename, link. See, link can be created to have your file to another directory. Okay, my file name hello.txt can be available in some other directory with some link over there. That is called as a hard link we can create it. And we can have a symbolic link that is called as a smart link or soft link. So where soft link will be having a new value to your existing values. And links, mkdir to create a new folder itself, delete the folder, read the folder, and the status of your file system. So all these are few operations which are available in the operating system, kernel operating systems, Unix type of commands. If you can go through that, you can understand all the operations also once again, right? Now next is the Andrew file system. See, Andrew file system is developed as an extension, some extension to the stateless machines, right? Stateless servers are there. So to make your server stateful, we are going for the Andrew file systems. That is the only differences we have. Now, distributed file system has two main methods, that is a NFS and the Andrew. So in the NFS, basic NFS and the Sun, which is developed by the Sun Microsystems, we have Sun NFS, which we have seen just now. Next one is the Andrew FS. So in the Andrew file system, we are going to maintain the stateful servers. So where NFS is a stateless servers. This is the only differences we can see here. And coming to the AFS can provide your location independence. See, NFS, we need a client to give the request. Now my server will give the location where our file is located. Then my client will analyze where that location is available, readily available in the network. So I will go to that particular location and I will take the data, right? So location dependent, we say. Here it is location independence because my server itself will be always available to open my file then and there itself in the server environment. So my client will come and it will check and it will go. Okay. So this is the only differences we can have with the NFS with the AFS. This is more scalable compared to the NFS. Okay. So this is again the definition part itself which we have seen. This is nothing but remote servers of the stateful. Okay, to access your files, and here you can use the caches locally at that server itself. It will reduce the overload to your client machines at the same time. Yes, right, because we are not going to go and check where the location of the file is located, all those kind of things. Now, implementation of file systems. See, if we take Venus as a client and Vice as a server, how the procedures will be taking place will be seen in this structure. So, in this structure, first step, request for the data to a server from workstation. So, here the workstation is about the Venus, who is Venus, and server is a Vice. So, we are expecting some request from the Venus end, so that Vice will be giving the responses available where it is having the data readily available to give your response back to your clients, right. So these are the few file identifiers. Just now we have seen, right, the operations which we have. So we can open the file, create, read, write, close. All these are the few operations of on your file system. Now coming to the main important point, the implementation wise, stateful servers will be taking, or else will be the servers to inform all the clients with all open files. See, I have this many open files with me, so you can give the request whatever you want to get from me. So if any client asks for so and so data, all the open files will be readily available, and we give the callback procedure, right? Here if callbacks to all the clients, right, with the copy of that file will be given with a callback promise. So callback promise will be like, I'm always ready, you can get your data always readily available. This is a promise I'm giving to you. So right, so this message also as a notification all the servers will be giving, all the stateful servers will be giving to its clients. So if callbacks promises are stored with the cache files on the workstations, we have two states, valid or cancelled. So valid means we are accessing it, cancelled means we don't want such kind of tokens or else notifications at all. Right, till here if you have any doubts, please feel free to contact anytime in the college. Thank you.